Oh no. Why am I doing that? Hello? 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 Hello, viewer. welcome. Welcome back to some more Let's Watch Tim Play Dungeon Hack. In the last episode, Mighty Meg here, our half-elf cleric mage, apparently made it to what I'm assuming is level 10. And we are going to continue to watch Meg attempt to reach the bottom floor, whatever that was, and defeat the final boss and beat the dungeon here in Dungeon Hack. It's been like 3 years or so since the last one of these was uploaded to the channel, so I really don't remember what I was doing. Hello, what is this? That's a hag. And that sound is a naga. How do I remember what these are? How do I remember what these are? It's been years since I played the game. Literally. Anyway, hello viewer. Welcome back to some more Dungeon Hack. I apologize for the great length of time between episodes. I cannot promise there won't be a significant amount of time between the next episode and this one. Things have occurred since the time of the last video in this one. I figured we'd talk about that really quick. Or not so really quick. That was one of the hags. That's the hags laughing. Oh, who thought that was a good idea to have that as their sound effect for walking around? Because that's certainly not going to get annoying very quickly playing Dungeon Hack. Hey, a lot has happened between this and the last episode. A lot has happened to me in the past. Oh, actually, not a lot has happened to me in the past week or so. However, well, we'll talk about a bunch of stuff. I've really been trying to get a video uploaded to the channel recently, and I've just been failing to do so. So first off, let's talk about current events rather than events which occurred a few months ago. Right. So today, and that is indeed a skeletal naga or an undead naga. It's a naga. I guess we'll talk about the creatures in a bit. So me first. We're gonna talk about me first. the most important thing I care about, me. Actually, I care about you guys the most. I don't care about myself all that much. Anyway, so I am okay. I'm alive. I am doing okay. Goodness, this is one take, Tim. You failed to record other videos this week. I've been having a great deal of difficulty sleeping over the past 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks now. You guys won't care about the reasons why in particular. I'll just say that I'm getting like 2 to 4 hours a night, or I was. The past 2 nights I finally got maybe like 8 hours, which is phenomenal. I need to get more. But as I believe I mentioned in the past, when I don't get enough sleep, I can't really record because it comes out being awful. I'm not coherent. I don't stay on track. There's long periods of time when no speaking is going on. That's not necessarily a bad thing, considering who's doing the talking. But I do tend to believe that some of you guys want to hear me speak. And I don't do a whole lot of that when I've gotten only 2 hours worth of sleep. I'm playing the game, trying my best to focus on the game. So, thus, there's been nothing uploaded to my channel for about 10 days or so. Today is August 13th, 2024. And I think the last one of these went up sometime in 2022. I think, if I recall correctly. Things since that last video, we'll talk about some more recent past things, have transpired, in case you're watching this entire series from beginning to end without a break, so some months down the line in the future. I was diagnosed with advanced acute myeloid leukemia back in October of 2023. It's a very aggressive form of leukemia, and if I had not started chemotherapy immediately, I would not probably be here at this... Actually, I would not have been here speaking with you guys. My oncologists mentioned that I would not have seen Thanksgiving had I not started my chemo. Whole lot, that's a whole separate adventure. We might get to that in this video. Everything that transpired there, because I don't have anything else written down to talk about. I was supposed to talk about, I believe, how the Dungeons & Dragons campaign was going along and tell you guys what was actually occurring in the D&D campaign. But it's, man, viewer, it's been a while since I've played Dungeons & Dragons as well with my brothers. So we're going to go ahead and just talk about what's going on with a bunch of the current stuff ongoing. Right, but anyway, hello. Welcome back. I figured that we would, at the very least, get through another video of this. I may or may not have others after this one. I still don't want to ruin how far I got in the game if I made it to the very end. I now know why I was doing that weird thing with the cursor. This is a very unfair game. It does not care about balance all that well. And one of the things that had transpired to me was one of my characters stepped downstairs, or rather went a level lower. There was a cockatrice as an enemy directly on the other side of those stairs, which attacked me immediately, hit me, and petrified that character, killing them instantly. There was zero I could have done to prevent that from occurring. Very frustrating. But that's Dungeon Hack, and because I'm playing on Iron Man with all these save slots, or I believe I was, there's no reloading it once it's gone for good. And I don't tend to make backups of my saves for roguelike games. I find it funner to suffer through it. Lots of very scary dragon faces, but thankfully they're not shooting anything. Let's talk about the creatures really quick since we're seeing them on screen and hearing them like cackle at us. These are hags. Hags do decent damage. Yeah, look at 16, look at that. I believe that was the max damage they can do. 7 through 16? Per swing, it would look like. They have decent hit points, not too much. An okay armor class. They have no other special effects, thank goodness. Because in normal Dungeons & Dragons, fighting a hag is even just one is a real nightmare to deal with. Tough skin regeneration, various spell casting abilities, fast, do good damage with their claws. That's a magic book. Have we found a magic book yet? Dude, I don't remember. It's been so long. Oh, well, at the very least, we didn't find this one, because we don't have it identified. We can't cast Prove Identified him with armor on it. That much I remember. Alright, anyway, as for the Bone Nagas, or Undead Naga, whatever they are, the other enemy we're fighting on this particular level, they can cast Magic Missile, which I think you saw them do once. I believe their melee attack has a chance to poison you. And if it does, and you fail that poison resistance roll, I think you die outright. So it's a good thing we have negative plane protection as a spell for our mighty cleric, because that prevents whatever effect being touched by undead would do, and that includes the Naga's bite, and zaps the Naga back instead for an okay amount of damage. I think it's like 3 through 12, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've dug up my player's handbook behind me. Actually, that's not even in... I don't think that's in my player's handbook. Oh. They can cast Magic Missile as often as they like, too. They don't run out of Magic Missiles, if I recall it correctly. But they tend to cast it every other turn. When they attack, they will cast it, right there, if you're not engaged in combat with them, in melee. Alright, well, I just realized we have an Onion Stone circling around us. I do like that for this game. One of the few things that I thought was a neat touch. I can think of no other Dungeons & Dragons game that I've played that had Onion Stones added to them. You can get her, Tim. Right, so what else is going on? So, it is mid-August, viewer, and I'm so sorry. It's way too late now to start any type of even short series. It would have to be a video series that would be maybe 5 or 6 videos absolute tops, because man, I've been uploading one video every 3 days, and that, if I'm going to continue that schedule, then that brings us to the end of August. So I can look to fit in probably one small series of maybe Mainframe Defenders is what I'm thinking. A game that I really enjoy playing. Nice, fun, tactical, turn-based game. Yeah, we could probably fit 5 of those in. Or I can maybe record other games, voice the games, instead of playing them. I have a few old Commodore 64 recordings from, I think it was this year as well, back in 2022 or 2021, for the Commodore 64, that I always meant to upload, but never got around to it, because I needed to add voice to it. Casting all the spells. Oh, I see why I did this. I probably took a great deal, yeah, of non-combat spells with the magic use, yeah, for our mage, our mage spells, because I'm not going to take off the armor very often and cast a spell directly in combat. I think that's me being angry that I cast 8 already, and I wouldn't have known had the game not told me, because so much time passes that I'm just standing there casting all these spells. It's like the old Necromancer from Diablo 2. You spend a lot of time just raising your army at the beginning of the game. When you log in, well, before we go adventure, we need to cast all these spells, or heaven forbid we get hit by something, and we just keel over dead. Right. So, well, viewer, it's approaching the fall season. It will be that in about another 2.5 weeks, and that means we play some, you know, I usually call them creepy, but that's not necessarily correct. Like, Occult Chronicles isn't creepy, but it's got a nice amount of atmosphere in it that fits with the Halloween season, as it were. And so I try to play games of that sort, games that involve, if not directly being creepy, some creepiness is described within them. The good news is I did manage to get Occult Chronicles working, on the new computers. So I have built 2 new systems. It's been 6 years since I had built the last computer. That was close, Tim. That had struck you. Well, we have negative plane protection on, so we're okay. 2 new computers. I was worried because my experience with Cryptic Comet games is such that they don't transfer well. I seem to recall that they needed to be installed via the installer because of registry things which occur therein to make sure that you actually purchase the game. But that wasn't the case for Occult Chronicles. I literally just copied the entire directory structure over and was able to run it. So, good. It's also twice as good if you want to play that game again, which we're absolutely going to, because Cryptic Comet no longer exists. A year ago or so, maybe a year and a half ago, Cryptic Comet their website can no longer be reached. Vic Davis has stopped producing games, and I suppose he no longer wanted to support that site, and so you can no longer purchase his games there. The only game I believe that was transferred over to Steam was Armageddon Empires. So they're laughing at how often I'm missing. You know, the Nagas are probably deaf. Probably the only creature in this game that are. Or the undead are deaf. I suppose most undead are. And so that's why they volunteered to be on this floor with the hags, because everyone else would just slaughter the hags. What do you guys think is worse? The hags laugh or the Minotaur sounds? Minotaurs have this awful sound. It's like they're throwing up or something. I think it's supposed to be them making sounds like they're lifting something, like the heavy battle axe that they wield. It's pretty awful though. Anyway, right, so Six Gun Saga, Solium Infernum, and Occult Chronicles are gone forever. If you do not still possess those games, that's it. They're gone. I myself no longer possess Solium Infernum or Six Gun Saga. I never thought to bring them with me from computer to computer. The old computer which I had... So, for Six Gun Saga, it felt like there was more work to be done on that game. Which is why one of the reasons why I never recorded it, and I didn't play it very often. For Solium Infernum, that game had a bug in it, where it would occasionally just lock, and you couldn't do anything in the game. Because I play Vic Davis's games on Reaper mode, this would mean I would have to start all over again. I became very frustrated with that and stopped playing the game. So I never made it to the old computer from the one before that. And when did I start, like, when did I play one of these games originally? I think it was 2007 or 2006 was the first time I encountered Cryptic Comet. Steam was just taking off. Is that right? Big time? No, Steam was around for a little bit, but there were still very many independent games available at other, like, the specific game companies' websites. And I would go and look for these independent games and purchase and play them. It's one of the reasons why I was introduced to Cryptic Comet. Oh, we're looking for an illusionary wall. Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's a mistake. Oh, and we're flipped around the opposite direction. Okay. Well, we killed one of them. That's good. I think you need a +2 weapon to hit a hag as well. So I'm glad that we have. Why does Meg sound so mannish when she takes a hit? I guess she's just that beefy. Maybe she just has a low voice. Anyway. Right, so when I had played Cryptic Comet, it wasn't available on Steam. Steam was not the big, huge game distributor it is today. That's how Spirit Engine 2, I first encountered that. I used to have something called Impulse here, which was Stardock's digital distribution system. Stardock backed out of that at some point and sold it to EA, and then it died. Oh man, and then GOG was out at the same time. I think GOG is still around, not as popular as Steam anymore. I generally had split my game purchases, 50% on Steam, 50% on GOG. I liked encouraging, what's the word I'm looking for? Competition. Which to this day I still do, which is why recently these new computers were I put together with AMD chips rather than Intel. I would flip-flop on them. Same thing with the graphics cards. I would flip-flop between Radeon and NVIDIA cards. Right, alright Tim, you gotta keep talking about stuff. Well, what's next? So, what do I plan on playing over the next few months? Well, so, even though I'm an exhausted viewer, there is at least this. Northern Journey has been uploaded to my channel and has been sitting there waiting to go visible starting at the first day of September. I managed to record this back when I was staying at my parents' house for some of it down here at my own home during my chemotherapy treatments. It was a great game. I think you guys will very much like it. I would score it just as high as Rot. And just like Rot, I thought it was fantastic. It was rather unique. I liked the combat, even though it was a little more janky. The game's a little different. Well, actually a bit different. It's a very beautiful game. And I love the exploration aspect of it. Like Rot, there was only one boss battle that left a foul taste in my mouth, shall we say. And like Rot, it was near the very end of it. But other than that, the rest of the boss battles were fantastic. Yeah, there's got to be a secret there, I'm thinking. There might not be, though, Tim. It might be just more teleporters. Sorry, no speaking while we're killing the Naga. Ooh! Oh, okay. So it is not, in fact, a death poison because we failed our... Okay, and they get play protection to protect us. So two things. It did not stop us from taking the poison hit. It did zap the Naga. We lost some strength being hit by its effect. However, our gauntlets effect brings us to strength 22, and that cannot be weakened. So we did not lose any points of strength. I think it's a temporary effect. I don't think I took any neutralized poisons, but I do not remember with Meg. Right, so Northern Journey will make an appearance, and the first one for the channel. I do plan, while that's being made visible to you guys, I'll get in some Consuming Shadow and Occult Chronicles, so those will be set. And that'll bring us probably to around the end of the first and a half week of October. And then, well, I'd like to finish Resident Evil 4. Honestly, viewer, I do not like starting series and then not finishing them. It's one of the reasons why now I'm doing another one of these. Hopefully we die at the very end of this episode, so we don't have to do any more dungeon hack. Oh, a real Naga! Oh, I forgot how creepy. So that's a really creepy looking model. I like that model very much. I like that. I apparently don't remember what it's able to do. It's also going to have a poison effect of some sort. So maybe that one's poison can kill us immediately. That's the boss of this floor. Sorry, viewer. This is important. That's the boss of the floor. Well, because if it can paralyze us, let's use free action to make sure that doesn't happen. And it's going to be waiting for us. Oh, she makes the same sound effect that the undead one makes. You have to stand here and tank it. We won. A Fear Mage Scroll. Do we know Fear? We do. We don't need it. Piece of trash. Not even worth burning in a fire. Alright, that's the way down. We definitely should explore the rest of this now that we've killed the boss as well. Right, so I don't like not finishing the series that I start. I can remember many of the series that I started never finished. Several were last year, right? It was Resident Evil 4. We started it in October, but then we never finished it. I should have probably continued that instead of starting up Underrail sometime later. But I figured we would indeed pick it up back up if I was still alive during these fall months. I suppose on that note, a quick deviation. I'm going all sorts of tangents after all. My cancer so far is still in remission. Thank goodness. If it's still in remission at the end of next month, then we're going to be moving to longer periods of time before I have to see my oncologist. Right now, every month I'm seeing her to get my blood drawn. It gets sent to a flow cytometry to check it to see if there's any cancer cells for inversion 16 present. Any of that, what's what I'm looking for? I want to say mutation. So that we're going to use that. Since that allows them to check to see if it's present in any cells therein without requiring me to have constant bone marrow biopsies. We'll probably talk about that later. We've still got, it looks like, some more time. Talk about random crap. Right, so we started and didn't finish Resident Evil 4. We started and didn't finish Sacrifice. There's one I have not forgotten. For that, I'm going to have to start over from the beginning. I won't record it from the beginning, but I have to dust off my RTS ability again. Not that I had much to begin with. Okay, we're going there for some reason. Why? Oh, you know what? We do need... When we started this adventure, I think we said... Point of Wisdom. Okay. Whew. That was a bit dangerous. Reading books willy-nilly can kill you if you're not careful in this game. Certain books are only readable by certain character classes, and if you're not the correct class, well, bad things might happen to you. We're gonna take Slay Living. Are we really? Okay, I'm about to say, I don't think we're doing that. Neutralize poison, neutralize poison. last. Did we start and not finish anything else last year? I think it was just those two. We did finish Eldor Genesis. One that I almost, well, technically, that was last year. I was taking a break from that one. Meant to come back and wrap up like the next few shards. We got the Key of Truth finished. But I did it off screen for the last 2 shards. And oh wow, it took a long time to finish it. And because I was nervous about cancer, since I was going through my consolidation therapy at the time, and the first one, my induction and first consolidation did not put my cancer into remission. I needed it to go through a second consolidation to fully get rid of it, which is a bit bad. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In the case, we didn't finish some of those games. There were several other I began playing, actually, last year, with the intention to record and finish them up this year. That would be Dragon Age Origins and Hand of Fate. My goodness. It's been some 6 years or so since either of those games were played on my channel, with Dragon Age Origins being a redo of the original playthrough I did, which is awful. 8 to 10 minute videos, low quality, lots of audio problems. No one's gonna watch that garbage. Trust me, viewer. Trust me. You couldn't hear what I was saying half the time in that series. So I meant to redo it, but never finished the redo. I got almost up to where I left off, but I forgot to take those files off of the... That's a Spectre. That's really loud. Alright, really quick. Spectres. Spectres are difficult to hit. Thankfully, no special attacks, as far as I can remember, like range attacks. I do not know what that is. That is a Banshee or a Ghost? Spectres can drain you 2 levels if they hit you. So we're going to need to make sure that we keep negative plane protection on us at all times. If it doesn't, so it doesn't stop the Naga's poison effect, but it will stop us from being level drained. Once again, I know I talked about this in this series already, or I'm pretty sure I did. I refuse to believe anyone liked level drain. It was a nightmare of bookkeeping to keep track of. And it was just miserably unfun for the poor players. And I'm going to risk saying dungeon masters as well. I always preferred stat drain instead. Much easier to bookkeeping, and when I did stat drain for my campaign, which is my own home rules, you recovered those stats gradually. My goodness. I'll give this for Dungeon Hack. With things like level drain, it's really suspenseful. You do not want to be touched by some of these things. Hopefully there's no teleporters in this level, though, because if there is, that little pause is me thinking, oh, you're kidding me. We have teleporters. Because there could be, like, 4 specters on the side of one of those teleporters, and that's gonna... Oh, yeah, that's gonna be awful for us. Okay, well... I don't know what that creature is. I don't think it's a wraith. Those are black, if I recall correctly. Flesh to Stone. Mage Scroll. Not useful, because we will never cast it. That was lucky that we killed it there. We do not want to have to worry about jumping through a portal. And if these creatures aren't respawns, there's a chance that they drop things, yeah, food. I don't know why they're dropping food. Or keys in particular that we might want. A Mage True Seeing Scroll, that is something we might want. We can cast that as a mage, and then that frees up more space for our cleric spells. What level is it? 6th level? 6th level. We don't have access to any of those yet. Anyway, what other Halloween games? I'm thinking of recording I think it's called In Vivo. And I've heard it's a classic horror game. One of my concerns earlier about recording a game like it is that I would want to record it with all the bells. I mean, it's an older game, but many FPSs I play these days, I record. I mean, I use fraps still, and after I've talked about this as well, the recording's done. We've got like a 700 or 800 gigabyte file sitting on my computer, and even after compression, some of these files are still like 60 gigs. And I was very skeptical if I was allowed to upload such a massive... That's a great deal of undead in there. Do we have to do this? I'm thinking, do we have to do this? Well, we need keys, because the way we want to go might be 2 levels down. And we might need a key that we could get here to access it. Alright, we have to go in the room with all the specters. That's a lot of them. That's a lot of them. We want to do as much damage as we can, apparently. Ring of Might time. There's 5 undead in there. There's no other undead around me, which is what I'm checking for. Good. 27 damage. We can kill one a hit if we get... Oh, lucky. They are also very fast. Woo! Alright. Pretty much that trouble is now dealt with. So it would be In Vivo. I'm thinking we could also probably fit in another one that I haven't played. Where we leveled up! 1 hit point gain. Yes! Was a cleric level. What are we taking? Oh, we can see on screen. Try wounds. I don't like these. I'll cast from level 1. Taking a thing. Oh yeah, create food and water. Yep. Let's not worry about food ever again. Not that we really were in a bind for that anyway. We could just unmemorize 1 3rd level spell, rememorize it. Food and water. We're good. But it's more convenient just to have it in the ready to go, as it were. Hero's Feast, I forget. I think that's a full food restore, and you get some hit points back. The Spectre. They are very fast. There's another one coming too. A key. Yeah, that's what we need. We need to kill every single one of these on the off chance they drop a key we need. Key of Faith. Ankra is another one I wanted to play. It looks like it's going to be some sort of puzzle-ish game. I don't know a way to describe it, and I only played it for 20 minutes because I wanted to play that one blind with you guys. I also picked up something called Crow Country, which I thought might be something we could play through this Halloween season too. That one looked a bit like it was taking some inspiration from Silent Hill 2. You play what looks like to be a little girl. A little girl probably would, like maybe around 15 years or so, as she explores or had visited an amusement park called Crow Country. And some things have gone wrong there, and it turns out the place is infested with some very creepy looking creatures, which once again remind me of Silent Hill 2. I never played any of the Silent Hill series. I never owned... What were they even on? I think they were on the PlayStation, if I recall correctly, right? And I owned a PlayStation 2 many, many years ago. That was the only PlayStation I owned. What was that we saw? Oh, Ghost. Okay. Missile Mastery has expired. I forget what Missile Mastery does, but apparently it's important enough that we want to cast it again. Still can't cast it with armor on, Tim. Then when we're done with any Halloween games, we'll go back to Underrail again and try to finish up the last playthrough of it. It's been how many months now? 3 months? I think it's been 3 months since we last played Underrail, just about. My goodness. Can you believe I played through that game 3 entire times on my channel? And off screen I played through it probably close to 6 or 8 more times? I have over 2,000 hours, Steam says, in Underrail. Holy crap. For games I'm playing recently off screen, I am playing a game called Abiotic Factor. I'm playing it with my brothers. It's a co-op survival game that takes place in an office complex. It is inspired or takes some cues from Half-Life with the idea of what is ongoing therein. It's a lot of fun. I very much like it. I don't really play very many survival games, and I've never played a first-person survival crafty game before. But I can't imagine anyone that would be as good as this one. It's really good. It's also early access, which is why I'm not recording it. I feel if I was to record an early access game, I would potentially lead you guys astray. There's been a few times I've played early access games on the channel in the past, and they have always left me disappointed with the final product. That includes, well, I'll say every one of them I think I have played that was early access. I am playing a game called Our Adventurers Guild, which is great. I really like it. It's like, how to describe this? In Darkest Dungeon, you were the person who was supposed to be managing those adventurers. But I didn't really feel like that overly much. In Our Adventurers Guild, I feel like that in every aspect of the game. You decide what to upgrade, you decide what to purchase for your adventurers, you decide who's getting training. I guess in a way, it is like Darkest Dungeon. But it has a more personal feel to it, thanks to it being also a type of visual novel. It's got this anime style to it, which I like. And there's lots of conversations between you and the other trainers and your adventurers from time to time. There's a big story which is ongoing too. I haven't gotten too far in the game to my knowledge, and I've already put in maybe about like 20 hours. It's good. Combat plays very differently than Darkest Dungeon though. It's similar to Final Fantasy Tactics. Or, oh, what was the game I played now? Well, we'll say Final Fantasy Tactics, since you guys will probably know what that one is. Oh, that was good. She didn't kill us immediately. I have tried a game called Rungor. That's a death knight. Get out of the way, Tim. Okay, I think they can cast fireballs or something. Yes, they can. And they drop ring mail. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to equip it or even identify it. We have our ring mail of foos. Level down. Oh, we have too much left unexplored, viewer. We need to know what's around there, because once again, we could potentially need keys. So that means we have to go back out and risk level drain. And I don't think I noticed that my negative plane protection spell has expired. Or I would be resting to recover them, or I could be casting it again. Just because it didn't cause level drain doesn't mean the spell does not zap undead for touching me. I'm probably trying to think, did I go through every teleporter? I think we have to go right back to the very beginning if I want to full explore this dungeon. And I don't. But we have to. But look, in real life, there are things that you don't want to do, but you have to do them anyway. Yeah, Rungor is an interesting one. I had hinted that I was going to be... Oh my goodness! I don't have negative plate protection in effect! Okay. There we go. What was I thinking? That was super dangerous. Remember that our spellcaster friend who sent us into this dungeon did so when we didn't have anything with us, thinking we would win. She just must send like hundreds of adventurers in here, not caring if they live or die. One of them bound to succeed eventually. Right, so I had hinted that I was going to do a lottery one-off, and Rungor was the one I wanted to record in that regard. It's a game I've never seen the like of. It's a deck building real-time combat roguelike auto battler. Very interesting combination. When I first started the game, like the first 2 levels, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's interesting. Not too much to it. And by the time I reached the 4th level, which is where I stopped, because I like this. I like this game. It began getting more and more complicated every single level. It reminds me, in that regard, of the Spirit Engine 2. The Spirit Engine 2 was a real-time combat auto battler, but you could select what skills your heroes were going to use. Also, and what they could select, but it wasn't turn-based. It was all real-time, and the characters would just react. It was position-based as well. This is not so much the case in Rungor. But what I liked about Spirit Engine 2 in particular is that, well, I really enjoyed the combat mechanics. I've still, to this day, never played anything that did something similar to that game. I backed Darkest Dungeon hoping we would get something like that, but no, we did not. Eminent Return Amulet. A holy crap, get me out of here right now amulet. Right back to the beginning of this dungeon. A journal page. And a helmet that we don't know if Matt is... Oh, we're not wearing a helmet currently. Maybe it's magical? Anyway, the Spirit Engine 2 tested your ability to understand the gameplay mechanics by adding twists and what have you. Underwater action, no reason why we can't wear that. Adding twists to how you fought creatures. Testing your ability to basically show the game that you understand how to play this game. Because here's a few tricks you would not have thought of that now you have to deal with, or a few new types of enemies that had unique capabilities with them. Rungor strikes me as being similar. That as I play the game, there's going to be things that test my ability to not test my ability, to prove that I understand the game mechanics well enough to defeat new groups of enemies with special, unique powers or passives. If I like a game's mechanics enough, I want it to get tougher and tougher for me by adding new monsters or mechanics to it. And Rungor, once again, in Spirit Engine 2, looks like they're going to do it. Oh, I picked up a game I meant to also play this Halloween season called Ghostware, Arena of the Dead or something like that? Or Damned or something? What is it called? Hold on, I have it back here actually. Of the Dead. Ghostware Arena of the Dead. looks like, from my playing of the first level, it is a throwback to the old Unreal Tournament days, where I'll fight enemy AI in a arena setting. It's not multiplayer either. Was some conversation and a little bit of dialogue, so there's some story going on. But you can visit the locations that you had fought in, like the arenas, afterwards to find like secret stuff that's hidden in them. Like there's no combat either that occurs in them. You just explore. And there was something creepy which occurred there. And I'm like, oh, you're not the game you were advertised as, are you? You are, but you're something else also. And I thought that might be a fun one to play together because of that. I've played a game called Oblivion Override, and I meant to record a small series of this. I actually started to do so. I had about 8 videos recorded, but without any voice. It's a combat platformer, similar to Dead Cells, only I very much liked Oblivion Override more than Dead Cells. Nothing wrong with Dead Cells, but it wasn't to my liking in the end. But I very much liked Oblivion Override. A lot. I liked it a lot. But I wasn't speaking during it because it requires a lot of concentration during the boss battles or what have you to recognize the attack pattern, dodge, or do whatever you're going to do correctly, and then hit the enemy with whatever skills or cooldowns you have. So I meant to speak about what was going on screen with you guys, similar to what we're doing right here. But I decided not to keep it in the end. I realized that I am going to end up having too many of those videos, and whenever I need to add voice to a video afterwards, which is fine, it takes twice as long, because I have to watch the video and then record my voice afterwards. Thankfully, using OBS is a lot easier to do this than it used to be using Fraps to do this with. I would fire up Fraps, fire up the video, and record the video in like Windows movie player, so I could watch it. But the video would, many of my Fraps videos would lag. Videos couldn't play them. Here with OBS Studio, I can just use VLS, I think is what I use, to watch my videos, which I've never had any trouble with them, and use OBS to just record what's happening on my entire desktop, and then go ahead and move the audio out afterwards, combine it over the original video, replacing what was happening in the video with it, and then everything's good. And that doesn't take too long to do when I'm done. Or when I'm done, it doesn't take too long to do overall. Like the extra amounts of video editing, maybe like 4 minutes, if that. It's really just the watching the video with you guys and speaking that takes a while. But the good news is it gives me an excuse to watch the video from with you before it even gets uploaded to YouTube. Normally I'm doing that sort of thing after the video has been uploaded to YouTube. And that's when I find out there's problems, or you guys tell me there's problems with the video, because I didn't watch it immediately after uploading it. And I didn't check it before I uploaded it to YouTube, because I'm lazy. Because once things are set up, once I think things are working correctly, I assume things are working correctly. When you have a Windows update come in and ruin everything on me. Goodness. Alright. Well, viewer, according to this, we got exactly like 2 minutes left, and then we're done. So it looks like, fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon your view of Dungeon Hack, we made it to level 12. Or rather, we beat level 12, and now we're about to step down to level 13. Let's get all the spells prepped. And that will probably do. I have no idea what we'll talk about in the next video, everyone, and once again, I do not know when this video will be up. I meant to do this somewhat regularly. Obviously, 2 years between videos means that did not occur. And thanks to sleep issues, you probably heard me yawning once or twice. I cannot promise when the next video will be uploaded. I do hope to get at least one more video up this week. I liked having one video uploaded a day when it was an hour per video. But lack of sleep, hanging out with real-life friends, seeing my family and my niece and nephews, amongst other things, is all cutting into my time. And when the fall shows up, I like going out hiking during that time as well, which I do intend to do this year. So that's even more time spent doing not recording. So hope you guys will forgive me. And hopefully I'll have a nice backlog ready to go for you guys come this fall season. With that said, I'm just going to let the rest of this play. I'm going to shut up. Thank you guys for watching. And I will see you maybe in the next one of these, assuming anyone ever gets uploaded again. Dungeon hack. Alright. See you guys soon.